ever heard the saying gondola person or roller coaster person? I don't know if I heard it somewhere or if I just made it up. I know my dear, wonderful best friend Emma and I, we would always talk about this in terms of, you're either like one of these people who just flows along on the gondola, just drifting through life, or you're a roller coaster person, and you're always either in a big dip and everything's falling apart, and then you're coming up and you're better than ever and you're on the highest peak and it's brilliant, and then back down again. And I think they're both great. It's like whatever you've come in for, but it's a different type of journey that we're each here to do. And I'm definitely on the roller coaster thing. And I think the difference is it's a completely different span of emotional intelligence, because the gondola people have quite a narrow spectrum of those emotions. Like if something's really difficult for them, it's just mildly frustrating or a little inconvenient. You know, they get inconvenienced and they get annoyed, but they don't feel despair, they don't feel depression, they don't feel hopelessness, they don't feel this deep void inside them. And on the other end of the spectrum, if something is amazing, the roller coaster person will be struck by awe, will be moved to tears, will be just wow, and they will be able to feel euphoric bliss and joy and the most extreme gratitude, whereas the gondolas are like, well, it was quite pleasant, and it's fine, you do you, off you go. They've obviously come in to just like go at that pace, because then maybe they're observing things in a different way, they're learning things in a different way, they're unlocking different things. Us roller coasters, we are here for big change, we're here for big evolution, big growth, we're here to figure stuff out. And so because we're always setting these intentions to change things, to experience the next thing, we trigger these things to break away, to fall apart, to shift. And I think we get better and better at dealing with the fallout in order to come back up for air and climb our way out and realise that we've brought all these golden nuggets of understanding and knowledge and wisdom, and ultimately like a greater trust in ourselves that there's literally nothing that we can't handle. And what I've always done before, I think, is I've tried to overlap things. So although often in life stuff happens to me that's almost comes out of nowhere, and it's like, oh my God, this is really difficult and really scary and wow. And people are looking at me like, oh my God, this will kill you. This is terrible. And then somehow I figure it out and I find my way through, and it's I come out better than ever, and it's great. It's all fine. And sometimes I guess I cling for a bit too long, and I wait for the thing to completely fall apart and cling to the wreckage for a bit before I go, okay, fine. I have to accept that that's done, and I need to be brave, and I need to keep going. And what's happened with this most recent set, because I think, you know, people talk about dark nights of the soul, people talk about spiritual awakenings, and I have them all the time. Like, I haven't had a dark night of the soul. I've had loads of dark nights of the soul. I've had loads of these big dip roller coaster moments. I've had loads of revelations and awakenings, and I think that's the beauty of it. You kind of realise, oh, you're never going to get there and stay there. You're going to get there and experience something, and then you're going to experience something new, and then you're going to learn something else that you didn't realise that's going to bring a whole new slant to your life. What's happening, or what's been happening for me, is that there's been less clinging to the wreckage and more of an understanding. I'm feeling my way that, okay, this can't stay the same anymore. I can energetically sense that this needs to move, this needs to change. I'm obviously ready to upscale to this next thing. And I'm not talking about this isn't good enough for me anymore. I should be, you know, living in this different way with this better lifestyle. It's not even that. It's like there's something on a personal growth level that's ready to shift and level up. And therefore the old ways of doing things, the old models, they just don't fit anymore. So it's time to accept that there's going to be this period of time where you're not really going to know what you're doing or where you're going, but all you know is you can't stay as you are. And it's amazing how this kind of manifests, because you start thinking about this desire for change in some way, and then bits of your life start shifting and giving you opportunities to bed that in. So if you want to feel more financially well, you will probably not suddenly win the lottery. You're probably going to have a devastating financial situation that makes you feel like, oh, I've got to figure out what to do. And then you figure out what to do. And then you learn new skills around money, new beliefs around money. It might be that you know that you need to have a difference in your career. You want to change. You want something to feel different. You want to feel more empowered. You want to feel more creative, or you want to do something different. And it's not like you suddenly get offered a new job. Generally what happens is everything about your current job starts to go wrong. And I guess, this happens with relationships. It happens with anything you can think of. This will happen. And so I've been kind of trying to get comfortable with the void, the kind of, I know it can't be here. And that's already starting to crumble away, because I've obviously decided on this next move, or some part of me is ready for this next shift. And so you end up in this place of unknowing, this place of, I'm not really sure what's happening, what I'm doing. I'm not really called to do anything particular. And that can be really unnerving and really unsettling and really scary. And what I've been doing is learning how to be in that hibernation. It's almost like a hermit phase, where you just realize that you have to follow the lead of the body. Following the body's lead as it says to you, you know what, you're actually quite tired, you're actually quite worn out, and realizing, okay, so, for me, I've spent, 15 years really not stopping, and I mean really not stopping, and there have been so many huge life things going on, and so many personal battles to move through, so much growing. And with my work, I was always just in it and on it and all over it, and just back to back to back to back. And it's been the most intensive, amazing experience. And at the same time, I've always known this is never going to be sustainable. You're not going to be able to keep going at this pace. And you're driven to do this pace, to do this learning at this level, by something that's serving you at the moment. But at some point, that drive is going to not serve you. You're going to need to upgrade that and level it up so that you can find a different kind of flow and a different kind of balance. And so that kind of starts falling away, and I feel like I've almost been put on a bit of a timeout, like, nope, not telling you. The universe is like, nope, not going to tell you, because you'll get really focused and inspired, and then you'll rush off and do that. And you need to learn how to listen more deeply into your body and follow its lead when it says rest, and I mean properly rest. Like, slow down, and I mean properly slow down, and explore all the reasons why you feel bad about that, or why that's difficult for you. Work through that stuff. And that's, I guess, where the personal work is, and that's where this unfolds, and that's where it happens. And I always used to kind of have this backlash with the hibernation time, the wintering, the hermit phase, where I don't want to do anything, and I feel like I don't want to answer emails, and I don't want to talk to people, and I don't want to do anything, and it's like I just want to be very quiet and duvet over my head. And it's kind of seen as very unhealthy, isn't it? People worry about you, and you're getting depressed, and I'm not depressed. I wouldn't mind being depressed. I've been depressed, that's fine. It's just, no, this is something else. This is like a deep healing. Need the quiet so I can listen in for the call of the instinct. And for a long time, my instinct has just said, not telling you, you just need to slow down, quiet down, and see what comes up, and take day by day what's coming in and what's telling you. And the last time I did this to the greatest effect was actually when I was trying to have my daughter, and it was 4 years in, and I won't tell you the whole story because I'll be here forever, but it was a very big deal. And I got to this point where I thought, honestly, I am someone who's willing to do stuff. I'm a doer. I'm a get on with it. I'm a get up and crack on kind of person. And there is absolutely no obvious route calling me. Everywhere I look, it's like nope, it's not that. Nope, it's not. And I just thought, okay, I can't take an action until I feel called to take an action. So I'm going to have to get comfortable in a place of not taking action. And in doing that, that's when the momentum started to take over and everything sorted itself out, and it kind of all magically came together. And that's the thing, I believe that there is this way for things to magically come together, because everything in my life that's been amazing, everything in my life that's been miraculous, everything in my life that's been like rags to riches, or, you know, out of the pit of this is all going to go horribly wrong, and actually everything's been like better than ever, that has always happened in a way that I couldn't have imagined, I couldn't have engineered, I couldn't have manipulated the parts. And I've seen that with clients year after year after. I've watched hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people live out these miracles, allow this magic into their lives and find things coming together in a way that they never expected, realizing things about themselves that they never knew they were trying to find, you know. So I completely believe that there are these situations where if you allow it to, you can invite the best possible outcomes. And I think what's really important for me is to remember, what is it that I really love to do? What is it that would bring me the greatest joy to do? And I love working with people, and I love interpreting messages. I love channeling. I love talking to somebody about where they're at, and then suddenly just realizing exactly what they need to hear. That's not come from me, it's come from something from them that they didn't know was there. Somehow it's come through me, and you have these most intensive, wonderful, magical, revelationary discussions together. And I absolutely love that when that flows through. So it's going to be something like that. I don't feel like I'm done with working with women, working with fertility. I don't quite know what it looks like, and I'm learning to be excited and intrigued and curious at not knowing what it looks like whilst I wait, and knowing that there must be some value in the waiting and the wondering and the letting things play out and the getting comfortable with the quiet phases. Because I've always thought in life, I'm waiting for the up, you know, I'm waiting for the good and the ride and the high. And when you're in the dip, it's really difficult, it's a real struggle. And I have learned the most rich stuff from being in those depths, realizing that we can use our guides as a map, that my feelings always let me know this is where you need to head now, this is where you need to point. And it's so simple and so beautiful, and yet so complex and so sophisticated at the same time. Like the other day, my mind had set out a day. I'm going to do these tasks, I'm going to get this done, and I had brain fog and I was tired, and it was like, this isn't really working. I'm trying to get these things done, and I could push through, and I got them done. It was fine, but my mind was ready, busy, and I realised when I'm actually listening in, my brain is telling me, well, you're going to be annoyed for the rest of the day now because you didn't get the things done that you were trying to get done, and you're not going to be satisfied. You're not going to have that lovely feeling, oh, that's a shame. Why, you're going to have to adjust your mood now into a mood whereby you're just a little bit fed up and a bit flat about it. And yeah, should we do that? Should we just like program that in now? And then my body was like, hang on. I'm trying to govern you here. If I'm not here to govern you with your feelings and your emotions and your circumstances of what you're actually feeling on your sensory level, the mind is going to run amok. The mind is like, oh, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, let's achieve this, let's do that. No, hang on. Like the body's like, hang on. You have run around and you had a really busy day yesterday. You had a really busy week. You had loads of stuff go on, that all this sudden change that you had to flex around and you had to rejig things, and you are tired. You need to rest. You need some quiet time. You need some space. You need to take it down a few notches. Therefore, when you try to go up a gear and do all this stuff, the body is going to give you a hard time over that, because it's letting you know, no. If you go that way too much, we don't have the resources and you're going to get sick, or, this is not going to end well. Just if you tune into the body will tell you, yes, you can do this. No, you can't do that. You need more of this, less of that. Or, yep, we can give that to you as long as you register that you're going to need to chill and you're going to need to make time for that. And also, the biggest nugget for me from that was I don't have to decide to be in a bad mood about the fact that I didn't get everything done. I could just be in oh well, I was going to do this, but never mind. That's not a bad reflection on me. That's not anything to do with who I am. It's just, okay, that's where my energy was today. That's as much as I've managed to get done. It wasn't quite what my mind had planned, and that's okay. I'm just going to be pleased with what's in front of me, which is, okay, I'm going to rejig things. I'm going to do things at a different level. I'm going to maybe do that tomorrow instead of today. And now I'm going to enjoy this late afternoon, evening thing that seems to be unfolding in front of me that looks quite inviting, in fact. And I could choose to be annoyed about that, or I could choose to enjoy it. And that's the lesson that I've been learning very much so the last few months, is learn to enjoy the quiet, calm, hibernation cocoon. It's like being in this cocoon, knowing that at some point it's going to open up and inspiration is spiking and the wings are going to get stronger and off you go again into your next adventure. And enjoy the slow times. That's where I'm at, and I'm learning so many little intricate things about how I think and how I do things and how I respond and how I react, and how much actually influence I have over the experience that I have. These moods don't just happen to me. These situations don't just happen to me. A lot of this has been engineered, and I know that if some part of me was ready for leveling up and having the next experience, it's because the next experience is being arranged and aligned and gotten ready for me. And in the meantime, it's really important that I build into and integrate this new version of myself that maybe is more gentle on myself and understands what I'm thinking and interprets more from my body and takes more direction from that. Use my emotions as a guide, and maybe it's about me, in fact I know it is, about developing my trust in myself, knowing I trust myself emotionally, I trust myself spiritually, and I've not trusted myself fully practically. And so what does the universe do? It sends me loads of practical things going wrong so that I can practice getting stronger and realizing, oh, I am capable. I am able to do these things and cope with these things. And it's such a beautiful rounding. It's such a beautiful birthing of a new leveled up version, and then wondering, where is that going to be? How is it going to land? And the only way I could even access the apprenticeship for this was to be brave enough to let go of what I knew wasn't right, wasn't serving anymore, wasn't serving anyone anymore, wasn't right anymore. And that was definitely the way that I was running life at that time, and my business. And it's been a huge thing to let go of the concept of catching rainbows, while still, I'm so lucky to have the few little clients that I do have, that I'm still so enjoying working with, and at the same time having this space to now really figure some stuff out. I'm wondering what will be next, what is coming, because something's coming, something's really coming. So yeah, many a dark night of the soul, for the best reasons, roller coaster person, 100%, learning how to enjoy the dips, learning how to enjoy the quiet and the wintering, learning how to trust myself deeper and deeper, and knowing wholeheartedly that magic is on the way and it's already here for all of us. And I'm no different to anyone else. So we're all experiencing our own version of this. And I just find it all, really enticing and mysterious and exciting. So let's watch this space. Let's see what comes, what keeps coming. So I keep journaling, I keep writing, I keep typing. I got little bits and pieces on the go. I'm really enjoying the clients I'm working with, and just pottering on. So all the love, and I'm just documenting this so that I can keep working it through and share for anyone who is going through something the same. And love to all.